That would not be good. It was only a few minutes anyway. Okay. I guess that's nothing we can do about that for a moment there. So, hello, YouTube. YouTube, hello. That guy on another channel does something kind of like that. Can't take his stuff there, huh? I'll be saying his stuff. All right. Today, we're doing okay. Today I'm going to demonstrate windshear takeoff in a Cessna Q310 through using the mission Sky King mission in Arizona, going from Sandhill Ranch to Page, eventually with a couple of stops in between. It's a scripted mission. We will be told what to do. You know, there's some things going on. And we'll go through Grand Canyons for a while, and it really looks good with the, pretty good with the blue sky PhotoReal scenery. And additional sceneries that came with the mission. And the plane, which I had already had, but they had suggested to download it, which, of course, I have added to the panel with the GPS upgrades and the I actually got to put the WAS in here too, but you can only use I don't use it in this one. It's just not appropriate. And there's nothing to grab at all radio wise, except for a page, and it's not necessary. So, an interesting, a really cool mission. This is all the guys who made it, and the credits are in the description. And so let's just get going here. I'm wasting time, huh? Wasted the time. Let's go. I think we're set to go here pretty quick. Here we go.
Welcome to the mission in Sky King's Cessna 310 Songbird. Get set up and take off for the Cliff Dwellers Lodge in Arizona.
Oh. So you get this started and it's like, well, why did the engines just die? And let me look around and because we're already above 5,000 feet. So I had to do this. I have to be honest. I have did this thing a lot of times, and because of the issues with it, stuff. There's some out.
We have been asked to land at the Cliff Dwellers airstrip. Someone has been taking artifacts out of there. We are not supposed to contact anyone over the radio in case the thief may be listening in.
Well, Sky, I sure hope they catch the thieves soon.
So yeah, you figure out that out for I did that the first time. I knew that was had to be done, but I didn't know that the propellers that you just saw me do had to be done. So the first time, because the propellers were there, a few times of just, it's really hard to get off the ground when that windshear hits you at the end of this, hits us at the end of the runway or near the end of the takeoff. And did some studying, and you have to when you there's was a real discussion with real pilots asking about on some site I found or something, and they were asking about whether you should configure your flaps for 15 or depending on and they were talking about a jet though, and I think it was 10 and 20 or whatever, it's a different number. So you know it depends on your engine, how much power you got. You're gonna need a lot more engine power if you're going up the other. The important thing is not to change it once you go until that shear is completely gone. Don't change your configuration. Don't drop your, don't up your flaps like normal. Just leave it there. And now this is the very successful. This first thing is we're successful, but I have some examples at the end of this of things where it wasn't successful, and show you why, and I'll explain things that happen with this mission. Is it this mission? Yes, it needs to be. It would needs to be have different location in it when you have fixed elevations or a different textures, like in this blue sky I think has its own. Yeah, I proved it by through a couple of these runs. I disabled my Free Mesh X, which is a whole series of satellite elevation corrections and all that. And then there's these, and then whoever's got the best one, I think is what they say, is overrides. Anytime when it comes down to that level. So when you get these missions, some of the free missions have to be will have errors. Just have to be modified in little ways. Remember to. Sometimes people don't remember to put flight plans in them. Sometimes they just put a bad link to a flight plan that's not even needed. And there'll be like something in there from like a save game or something like that. So this one didn't have that, but it's the problem with this one is a misalignment by like 300 yards of the runway, and a lot of times some missions will be like will drop you like into a building or something like that, and in some of this other one it's still not aligned on our first stop here, but it's not in a bad enough spot that it harms us. And when I got to the other one, the first couple times you don't expect it. I expected to be able to go get to I'll explain it when we get there. So this little beginning part is kind of flatter, but we're coming up to. I don't have the map showing here, which is normally I did it so many times, and then by the time I finally got this one, I don't know if I had everything set up the same and showed the map as much. I was kind of get it done mode. there's some really good scenery in here. This first part is very short. That's in some of them, I wanted to show that I was at a good level that you still could be. You could tell the different elevations even for these smaller elevations. Is my point. Small elevation changes. And sometimes I did it. It would be cloudy like this and more and worse. And sometimes the weather can be a little sporadic, but most of the time it had a lot of clouds through this one part. Just for a little bit, yeah. Till we're heading towards the Grand Canyon. This what I put there in the description. I should be using it myself. Trying to recall the name of the airstrip we're going to now, the AZ-03. There. Nobody's even in here, so I guess I'll shut up. Oh yeah, I got some shots of. That's what I meant about these not really, cute. This is not the cliff area. The cliffs. It's called the something with it. To the put it in there. Where is it? I know it's in the Sky King's flying ground. Okay, I should do the mission. We're taking off in this 310Q from Sandhill Ranch to airport, meant to represent Sky King's ranch with the flying crown in Page. It makes 2 stops and lands at Page Municipal Airport in Page. That was an old story. It's meant to be about an early TV series of Sky King. He flew 2 different aircraft called the Songbird in the series. The Cessna 310 was second aircraft and the one used, although a slightly different version here, right? In this mission, the one used in this mission, yeah. Downloads available from Simvation, a nice aircraft. Sky King stood for Skylar King. His niece, Penny, typically appeared in the series. And each time I did this, I got some good shots, and sometimes some of them were way better than others, and I was like, this is going to be the good one, and then I blew it a couple of times with dumb crashes. But then this other issue, I was trying to find which way would be the best way to fix this, an easiest way, or and ended up, like I say, I'll let you know more about that later. So because of that, that's why I saved some of those others. We're just gonna see these outtakes at the end of some more really cool stuff like this. But not repeat all that beginning part. I'm going to repeat the beginning part a lot. And then at the end, after we get it, I just go off and see some more before we finish it. That takeoff there, which I cut off track reading this. I was supposed to say during the takeoff how tough that is to get that and describe the. I didn't describe what we had to do with the. Did I? With the fuel mixture and the propellers. 80% for propellers. You have to put on there, and you have to go about like 45% mixture to get off that first airport because of that wind shear. Whole thing I talk about the wind shear, and then I'm talking something else. Oh boy, oh well. When that was going on, well, hopefully you saw that. Noticed how it was dragging and really hard to get up. Maybe I should. Maybe in one of these repeats, I'll. Depending on how long this goes, I'll go ahead and do it again, and then show, and talk about the way I meant to do it. So yeah, let's stay here on.
Welcome to Cliff Dwellers Lodge. When able, taxi to a parking area next to the car. I will talk to the guy there.
So there's your next clue. The next clue. Jeez, I haven't seen if anybody's here. Anybody here? Oh yeah, so this Songbird thing is like getting off that first one. It's like a gutless wonder. And it's like, I don't know if I'd want to have this plane, man. As bad, as vicious as nature can get at times. This thing about just get blown all over the place. You would think now that we're down below 5 that I could take all that off now, but it's like, nah, I just left it in. It didn't. The biggest thing you'll notice if it's the RPMs over there. If you don't put it down to 80, those RPMs of the propellers go way over the red and doesn't perform well at all. So here at our first stop, we got to talk to this guy, find out what's up. And in the meantime, I was trying to get good camera shots. That's why some of the times I
Fellows said they caught the thief.
blew it.
However, there is an injured climber at Marble Canyon who needs to be taken to Page Municipal Airport. There is an ambulance waiting there.
Feel free to comment if you like this video. Please, and if you don't or somewhere got some info. Chat, I believe, should be working. So it's going to get turned around here to go to this place around the corner. And pick up the guy. Yeah, this is where it got sticky. Or not here, but up here. Oh, something else. It was this. Actually, this video I was going to say, it kind of really holds so many examples, quite a few examples of quirky things, that you can run into with flight simulator. And in front of us is that big coney thing, is what's called a spike. That's where there's a hole, or there's something, a piece of data missing in the satellite data or just wrong or something. A much easier liftoff than the first one. No wind shear, more normal. And in fact, there's not much reason here to change configuration. Really, should have just left the flaps and even the gear could have stayed down because it's just around the corner. This has looked pretty darn good with the colorings right. You know, I haven't been to Arizona since a long time ago, but I did live there for a good portion of my young life. It might be, well, you know, that's one of the things with PhotoReal, if even part of it, you can, this is like right up against Utah, and then, you know, if things are taken at different times of day, those are the things that are hard to deal with. You can have actually different tones, as well as the sun doing things to them. Huh? So, okay, here I turn this on to show this is where, in your mission, an old mission like this that doesn't have, it thinks the runway is there. And on the first runs, I would fail because I could not get over there. You can't get over there without the plane just crashing into the deal. So I did another run, and I actually got on this side and landed like over here, and then tried to go back over to see if, and you can do that, but you can't go the other. There's a section where you can do that because you can kind of make it over with, if you're coming from this way over to the actual runway, but and it'll barely make it down without dying, really. But the other way around, no way. So I kept trying to find a pathway that might have worked, and then I've tried. Sometimes I've actually had to do this, or you know, just rather than bother with actually changing the XML file, like location of where these guys are. I found, you know, wanting to work around for now, and is it worth it or not to me? Well, in this one, it's like, well, after I figured it all out, that they, you know, it's just about so far. I just guess here and just that it thinks that it's there, and it worked. You know, it's like work around, just and there's quite a few things with old missions or missions that don't match your a given author people's textures or you know, yeah, well, this kind of photoreal textures are photoreal is just textures. They're not, you know, the buildings. You know, over the top of those boring other textures that were there before. Only their actual pictures, right? So, I don't sure why. I was sitting here for a while. Guess I want to check out the truck. And I decided on this one to, and it's ridiculous that because it didn't matter at this time to save it. It was the other times I'd wish I'd saved and I wouldn't have had to repeat it, do it over again. Oh, I guess I just in case taking off in the same spot didn't work. I just felt it was easier this, go back exactly the same way, parallel to the airport, this many yards. I see the flag. There's there's a windsock up here, up in front, and I go, okay, that kind of helped me stay aligned to what, just estimating that the mission thinks that the airport is, is where I'm flying. If not, at least it wasn't so bumpy that it caused me to wreck. So we get to move to the next uh, the page, to the last stop. Get up to the air and see some cool scenery up through here. I'm gonna go past it first and do we're touring and sightseeing for a little bit, so it kind of extends this short mission out because it looks so nice. Just looks so nice with the. I love mixing the missions with that match with an area that I got photoreal for because they usually have people planned interesting routes that they've been on, like dangerous airport ones and stuff like that. Hello. Yeah. And the problem with I might go through with it to see if improve something I'm going to say here. Um, I did look at the XML and found the coordinates that they have that flag set at, and I went back, and then I took another flight, and I landed on the airport and went slow and went to completely parallel to that and tried to and wrote down the coordinates from before and after, but I think there's a little bit of a difference between what is displayed when you when you do your Alt Z and it tells you on the screen what your coordinates are, and the way it's put in the XML. And I believe there's actually a conversion that's done, but you have to know, it's like, oh, I forgot. And once I thought of this, I said, look, there's an easy way around because I know what's going on now because I've seen the same amount of space wrong about an airport alignment in other missions. and you usually have to hit that flag wherever it's at. Okay, there's the version 6 GPS I finally put up. It's just for a little bit here. I had it up at different times and better times. Earlier times I had it to land, and then after it all kind of went terrible and took me like, oh my God, so many. It's like, I don't know, 10 times messing around and trying other things to figure out how to, whether I can fix it or get through it and get the goal completed, and get good pictures and not crash. A lot of these caverns, it's just part of Grand Canyon, I believe. Of course. Marble, it's marble something. That's what I like about, marble. I like about the GPS too, is all these features on the GPS having, and one of them being that you get the names showing. Yeah, Marble Canyon. Yeah, this is all Marble Canyon. Well, it's getting away at times, but they clear up. Anything else I was going to say? Oh, some cities, small little cities down there. Of course, any straight up and down, cliffs are not going to look that good because, if you're wrapping a photo around and no one can spend the time to go take a side shot and then place it there. It's like, these are satellite pictures. Over the top of, the corrected elevations. And then there's, you get this anomaly. It's just like you do with trees, with sometimes the top with rigid tops of the side of mountains. They look like they're going sideways, and they are, in a way. But as long as there's like angles, as long as there's a little bit of an angle, these other ones, they'll come out looking real. Just or looking right. What else? Really red rockish in here through here. So again, if you like these videos, man, I'd like to do more where I take these missions, and if they're old missions from ABSim or Flight Sim and they don't work, and there's something I'll point out what can be done for people who might want to do them, and what to do to get by. In this case, this is just this is what I suggest. It's easier. just get through it. I figure out the correct conversion. It's just about the inches side. It's like it's correct. It's the same for degrees and feet. And it's like they do it in inches. That's what it is. One does it in inches and one's in minutes. And you have to convert that. And I think if I convert that and then put it in the XML, that it would move the flag. But, and I'm sure as soon as I do it once, because there's so many of them that I have that do that, and I just like, I keep going, well, you need to go ahead and, go ahead and take the time and get your thing together on that, so you can just do it every time. Because a lot of these, like I say, a lot of times it seems to be the same distance difference. Now it seems like the music's a little low. Uh, uh, oh, I don't want to do, that's different. Oh, I know. That's not good. Now it's turning down the plane too much. Just leave it. Okay, we are over Page, Arizona. I guess it's Page and the border between there. Here's another example of, well, there's an example way up in there that goes to Utah, and there's different shade, because taken out at probably completely different times and days. Really lucky. I mean, that can be a really, really bad problem for some, And these guys did a pretty good job of, however, getting big swaths of areas that aren't, you know. It's not all discolored and all of a sudden changes in tone quality. It happens, but compared to some others, and especially in the earlier days, it's amazingly good. You notice the brakes, but yeah, that's the brakes. If you were seeing this without this PhotoReal now, it's just it doesn't even compare, not even close. Like I said, I get rid of the auto gen. I still do the dents, still do dents. At least sometimes, I know I have some things that when I installed them, it's like you need to have very dents on, but when I'm doing PhotoReal, it's good enough. And I'll keep the airports dents. And then you always have the option of, in cities. It's great, man. Just load it up to go the opposite direction. Don't necessarily use the AutoGen doesn't work well with it doesn't come through that much. It'll come through some if I put it up high, so it does. But I always say that it messes with your perspective when you're doing this, because you can getting the right angles, get the right camera things, you can tell the three dimensions, and the dimensions when you get near the airport, if you have a lot of that stuff around, it doesn't really fit, because it's way up above everything. It's like a giant compared to other stuff that you're trying to fool your brain into having somewhat of a 3D perspective on, such as this stuff down here, which isn't the best example. Places that have good shadows and things that are in the buildings a little taller, much better example than that. But again, other times when you get in the city, it's like loaded up with AutoGen, if your PC can handle it. That's the other nice thing about this, is that it reduces the frame rate, or load, and keeps my frame rate higher. I mean, reduces the load on my stuff and keeps the frame rate, being able to keep the consistent rate, and that's just as important with a simulator, is to not have your things jumping up and down. The water's now in a whole different color, like it's all sandier through here, but still a nice lake. So yeah, that's why I say I just took a little detour to show this other end all the way to the end of the lake, and then we'll go back. No one's chatty. Kind of low here, should be a little higher. The resolution would be easier to render. Excuse me. So coming back around, back towards Page Municipal. Oh, well, decided I would play with potentially talk to traffic there, but I think I decided against it. Or talk to the tower there. Did get weather for a second. I don't think traffic was, anybody was there. Oh, here comes the cat. Here comes the Gargi. Hey, Gargi. That would be that dam. That's right. That's another site that I forgot to mention that was in here. And it looks like I kind of just bypassed it on the first run through there. It's like, hey, I think it did. We came from the other direction, and then I saw it for a second, peeked through the window, but decided to keep going. So we'll check it out. Coming this way. Oh, Gargi. Yeah. No, there's all those towers on that hill. You can really see the difference. I mean, whatever in elevations from little hills to big hills. Cat, you need to get out of my way. There's a dam up the page. I suppose what is that? I don't know if that's a border between Arizona and Utah or not. Cat, you're in the way. You need to go. Don't be knocked. The next thing you know, it's going to knock the mic down and then lose the holes. And go, go, go. I'm almost done. You can. Not quite, but we're getting there. Sorry, my narration and stuff is bad today. I haven't, especially because I ended up spending too much time. Now I'm not doing as good as I think I would have had I not been up too late. Didn't get any sleep. It was like I was going to do this last evening. It was like, oh, I ended up, I can't believe it. I was going to have this done and going to be streaming this like, last night. All kinds of things happening, and then, what you're going to see in the outtakes here at the end. A little tiny bit of, not all of it. I think I have about whatever 4 of the previous ones, because only the favorite ones that had some other good, nice shots in them, as well as you know, showing you what occurs when you try to cross that area, that one airport. Or airport, airstrip, yeah, part of the strip. Oh, see. Yowzer. What are we doing there? There's a autogen water tower right there, actually, still coming through. Maybe not. Maybe that could be actually a regular scenery piece. Could be. But I don't think so. I think those do come through even when they occasionally. It's really strange, even when you have autogen turned way down. Or even off. If I had it up higher, there'd probably be 3 or 4 of them there. I didn't do the best flying on this run either,
landing.
but we made it
to the parking area.
And these clouds are just they're not they're the EnbSeries that don't have a couple of the fixes that's in that guy's payware one, but it takes care of the or enhancements that guy has, different stuff, but it takes care of all of these major fixes to the cloud system, and adds. And I've got stuff that adds the other clouds, and it just works. It's so close to the enhancements that some of the payware ones are over that it's perfectly fine with me. Yeah. Sometimes in some cases you can see them being built or rolling around. Oh, but it sure would be nice to have. I can't wait till Flight Sim World just continues to mature and they get shadows under the clouds is some big missing in Flight Simulator. Once in a while, it almost seems like it's doing something like that. I don't think it is. No, because of that misalignment. No. No, it's not a misalignment. It doesn't happen everywhere. For some reason, I'm just getting like, oh, I'm going to stay completely on track in case there's a building or something else. I got paranoid. Pretty sure it was just that remote, more of a remote spot in the middle of nowhere. But it could still be because all these have these, when he's placed, there's a green marker there. He's placed it there, and I've had missions where they're placed in the middle of the building. I've got one. It was a good mission, and I probably would have made something out of it, make a video out of it, but I can't finish it because I've got to do a similar situation to this. I've got to figure out and do that conversion because it's in the middle of a building. There's no way to complete it. And look how close this one is to the building. Oh, hello. Somebody finally said hello. Mr. Shore. Hi, how you doing today? Hope you're having a good day. Hope you're getting something out of this video. I'm trying to make these videos to, whatever, for the fun of it, plus just to show what I've done over the decades with and learned over with all these free add-ons and learning how to manage, install your panels, and make the best of that old stuff that sometimes needs to be repaired or updated to work with all these elevation fixes that came along much later in the life of Flight Simulator.
The ambulance is here.
So this is one of them, and this is this mission that's available on Simbation, I think. Like I say, it's in the credits. Yeah, I think all the stuff and the plane's available on Simbation. So that's how I managed to get around the misaligned airport on that one. Just say I'm gonna have to perfect my thing, a process of changing the minutes to inches or whatever on those coordinates and see if it works, and maybe and then that'll be really the ultimate solution for all of these missions to do that, and then move them if you have to. It's easy to move them for your plane on an initial when it drops you into the middle of a building or something like that. That's like one change, because that's in like the flight FLT file. I think it's not in the. It's harder to do the ones that are part of the XML scripting that's going on for the mission. So looks like I'm dinking around here a little bit more. Oh, yeah, at the end there's a little pause. I don't know what I'm doing here. I think I was thinking of doing some more flights for a minute, and then I had to leave the room for just a minute. It's not real long, but we're gonna like sit here for 30 seconds or a minute and a half doing nothing, I think. And it might be close enough to being done and I could just skip the whole thing, but I think there's something else coming after that. Maybe not. Doesn't matter. Because whatever, just hanging out doing that. And right after we're gonna see the outtakes. I guess I was just maybe some just different views. There's a back up from top down of the shape of this part of Page. It's mostly all of it, I guess. It's pretty small from up there, but it looks, I think there's other parts still called Page that are like spread out from this area. Looks like I haven't left yet. I don't know what I'm doing. No, I'm asking Howard for clearance to take off. And this is where I think I have to leave the room. And because it's not that long of a time, but a little time, I don't want to try to jump ahead and go and miss stuff and start jumping back and forth. Just let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Rude. Yeah, Cat, how rude. You're like Rudy's. Brian Christopher's Rudy's. Okay, and then I guess that's what it was. The reward, the Sky King mission reward. They said this thing was based around some TV show that I never saw. I never saw it. Sky King, and had a little grant as Sky King with Gloria Winters as his niece Penny and Ron Haggerty as his nephew Clipper. Yeehaw. Alrighty then. And of course, but okay, now, just the end. Okay, it's like not to go through all of this. Actually, some of you weren't here, so it doesn't. And maybe the beginning, I said I would explain that I didn't the first time.
And take off for the Cliff Dwellers Lodge in Arizona.
Okay, yeah, I didn't explain it. So we're here where the first time you get the engine just goes out and you go, huh? Why did the engine go out? It's because you're above 6,000 feet or 5,000 feet. We got to get the mixture down. So I restarted it and I pull the mixtures down as quick before they die to like 45%. Or you won't get out of this takeoff because of the wind shear that hits at the end of the deal. I'm almost, because I missed it even myself. I was talking. I'm going to go ahead and let this part go again. If it, maybe it'll, not the whole thing. We'll skip to the end here in a little bit.
Land at the Cliff Dwellers airstrip. Someone has been taking artifacts out of there. We are not supposed to contact anyone over the radio in case the thief may be listening in.
Well, Sky, I sure hope they catch the thieves soon.
Computer. Be better sometimes, I think, if we edit those to be more real sounding voices instead of computer things. But hey, it works, huh? Sometimes they do, and they really are. They're cool. Oh, hi, Shayla, you guys, the last two of you that chatted, have the nearly the same color icon, so I didn't see it was somebody else. So another comment. Oh, don't let me lose track of what I was trying to. Oh, so I already did kind of. I was trying to 80% on the propellers. The first run, I only did the mixture and ended up not making it. If you with these little clips. And if you really don't, the other thing that was important is your trim, takeoff trim, because if you don't get all three of those right, then you're either not going to make it, or you be bouncing very, it's even harder struggle. And I bounced a couple times right at the end because it's so short, and 2 different times busted the right wheel and busted the left wheel. Oh, also, I've never mentioned that I also that this is on realistic settings, so all my videos are all and flights are all on realistic settings. None of them are. So if I do something wrong, it crashes. It even stresses. If I just stress it out by running them too hard sometimes. I think there's actually a video that might have somewhere it's actually required to take it off, but that's a whole exception thing. For some reason, for whatever the goal is or whatever's going on here. And here I might do a bounce on this one. I do. Yeah, see, that one I kind of like, but I get off really good, but it's like almost. Okay, we weren't going to show the whole thing again. We're supposed to go just to the end on this. We're going to see some of the middle and whatever. We don't need any of this. It's already on the beginning where we see it. So here's the deal, though. Okay, getting right at the end is if once you land at that if we land over here, I suppose I could show a little bit of this. It's got just a little bit. But we're going to see this again anyway. Get turned around. Oh, come on, stop it.
Welcome to Marble Canyon. When able, taxi to the parking
Okay,
area.
so there's landing. And on the runway, instead of over to the left, which is where the flag is, and where you have to pick up the guy. Okay, so this is what happens the first time I do this. It's like, things normal, looks good. I don't really I don't worry about the flag being off because I think, hey, in most cases, many cases, you just kind of go over the ground. It's not, gonna hurt, and you, but a little different here. Just watch. Still beautiful sights though. So see, even here, just look at it. That's just a very little hill, right? It's been over little things like that a million times. Whatever, tons of times. Exaggerated. So look to see, there is that little black spot where there's the yard. Oh, here's what I'm doing here is trying to get exactly lined up, and I think if this is the one, if this is the take, I think it is, the flight, I think it is, lined up there and writing down the coordinates to where I'm at. So these would be the 2 coordinates, and I wanted it to be right directly, parallel. I mean, it's parallel and across. So I thought, well, I'll go to the corner. No, this isn't what I thought it was, but well, it's supposed to be the parking lot. If they were over here, they would be somewhere over there, right? So I go, I'm like, what we gonna do here? There's it seems logical. I said, they're telling me there's a parking spot right there. Seems logical that I would have been there. Seems logical that it should be no big deal for me to take a left-hand turn here and go really slow, but no. So that's what will happen to anybody who just downloads this and has any terrain corrections or elevation corrections installed, like many of us do. Don't just have default FSX stuff. Okay, so that was it.
Welcome to
So
Mission
this
in Sky
one,
King
oh,
Cessna
it's named,
310
hang
Songbird.
on, this one, we're
Get
not
set
going
up
to see that
and take
again.
off for the Cliff Dwellers Lodge in Arizona.
This is a different one, but we're not going to go through that again. We're not going to see that again. I think I had it. I can't see the name of it. I had a name. It didn't have a name. Oh yeah, start around 25 minutes in and end after the crunch. In other words, yeah, we're not going to watch. You've seen the stuff on the previous stuff already, previous runs. So 25 minutes in is where I've already seen there anything might be worthwhile to see again. Kind of that's why I'm saying we're doing these, because some of them I had some fantastic shots, and then the run just got blown up. Got blown up again. Do it. I was thinking to myself after so many times, it's like, wrong. Do it again. In Pink Floyd references. Wrong. Do it again. Wait. Okay, so I think we're doing this here because I looked in there some worthwhile additional photography. And potentially another funny pad ending. Marble Canyon. Here we are once again. Yeah. Not even. Oh, the wild flying. At this point, I'm getting crazy, huh? On this one. Why am I flying around with my wheels up or down? I don't know. Oh, well, because I guess I'm close. Just because a lot of times I'd get caught up in these, trying to get these landscapes and then not align with the runway fast enough and go, oops. So this was an attempt.
Welcome to Marble Canyon. When able, taxi to the parking area.
Let's see what different, I think I took a different approach here. Let's see, at one time I just like went to airport, put myself down, or exactly right over there where the flag was, and then tried coming this way, the other way, and it's okay as long as you get over this section here, but you can't. Okay, here it comes. Think. I don't know what why am I? Dinking around here, thinking about something, trying something, I guess. Well, black piece of road there, but I think did I just choke here? I try to go very, very slow. Yeah. And I see the tire going down underneath. So I give me a pushback. And how much am I pushed back? What am I going to do now? So I know that it's just going to take me down. What did I try? What is he doing? What is he doing? Doesn't appear to be doing much. Trying to come up with a plan. Am I thinking the corner? Am I thinking that looks the flattest? I don't know. I certainly didn't make a decision very fast there, did I? Well, it wasn't after. It's like, what am I going to do? Looking down, I'm trying to look down all the way and see that, if there's a break without. It's like they're there, but I can't get to them. Yeah. guess if you watch the entire first flight, it's the we get him. So yeah, Alan, very gently, and there you are, floating again. And that was it. Yes, that was done. So you're done. So there's a strange, there's what happens when, I guess the missions elevations are different, and something's just bizarre. The floating plane. Okay, that's enough. Not enough? I think it's like, what am I doing? How long am I just like moving it around? Yeah, I think it's like we're done. So let's just go. Let it go. Okay, let's just finish, and we're gonna go to whatever the next thing that I kept to this